Hey everyone, this is Rob,
And Michelle,
and welcome to Boonbape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school or RuneScape.
meet Merp.
Meet Merp.
We're done with that.
All right, so this week up on the docket, of course, as always, we're going to be going over what we have for you this week, what we've
Yep.
been up to in the game or otherwise.
Mhm.
And then we'll be going into a couple things this week, being the mobile UI rework, which, to be perfectly transparent, neither of us read because we don't really play on mobile that much anymore.
Yeah, but we'll still go through it because I'm sure someone must care. Again, why am I wearing these? I don't need to be wearing these.
She just likes wearing them.
No.
But
I sit at my desk and I feel like I have to.
we will be going over the mobile UI rework and then also some more Desert Treasure 2 changes, which who would have thought more of them, as
mind me.
always. But yeah, honestly, not a lot to go over this week.
Yeah, so it will probably be a shorter episode, which is fine with us. We are recording this all in one day because I had family in town this week, so this week's just been like, our schedules have been so weird.
Yeah, a little crazy.
It's been really weird.
Anyways, though, we'll try to bring you just as good of an episode as normal, but a little bit shorter, if
Yeah.
anything. And then we'll be ending on a Q&A as per usual.
Mhm.
And of course, as always, if you do want to participate in the Q&A, feel free to give us any of your questions anywhere that you can really find us, any of our socials, but specifically the Discord would probably be the best place.
Mhm.
So you can find us over at discord.gg/boonbape or over on Twitter or X, whatever they're calling
We're
it
not calling it
nowadays.
X.
Yeah, over there is good as well.
Yes.
But before we get into any of that, Michelle, how's it going?
Going good. I got a level up specifically so I could say I got a level up this week. I was working on today. I got 92 crafting.
Nice.
Woo!
Huge.
Halfway 99.
At least, what are you doing for it, though? I was going to say
doing
it's fast.
air battle staves. It's not the fastest.
That's pretty fast, though.
It's pretty fast, and I'm not losing as much money. I think I
Yeah.
lost like less than a mil getting an entire level, which if I was doing Black D'hide bodies, it would be more than less than a mil, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
More than less than a mil.
And it was fine that it's not the best XP because something that should take me like less than an hour to level up took me like 4 hours because I just kept getting logged out because I stopped paying attention.
Nice.
So it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not efficient with it, regardless about what the method is.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
We also were doing a bunch of TOA this week, so we got quite a few purples. I think that's 2 of these were mine. Wait, did I mention? Oh, I got the Aqua Transmog. I mentioned that last week, actually. Sorry. So we got a Fang, and then followed by a ring. So that was 24 mil. And then the ring was in my name for sure. It was my 7th ring because I got 4 mil for it.
Nice.
Later that night, someone else got a ring for 2.5 mil, and they gave me 2.5 mil for it. I didn't ask for a split. It was subs who gives me grief and makes fun of me for asking for splits in the past. And I was like, I'm not gonna take this. And they're like, you need to save for a TiVo. And I was like, oh, that's so true, homie.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
I took
so
it.
true. So true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I also got another purple the other day. I got a body in my name, which was 22.6 mil.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, I counted how many purples of a total. I think it's 17, and a shadow is 1 out of 24 when if it's a purple. So I can't really be expecting it yet. I have like every other purple in the log, and now they got all the transmog kits. I'm only missing the shadow and the cape. So like I want to get the shadow and then maybe move on. I don't know if I want to totally green log it, but
Yeah, just get the whole thing. Actually get 5 shadows. Or be like that person on Reddit that I think they have, they updated and they now have 3 shadows and I think like 200 KC.
Was it Villain like months ago?
No.
Villain has 10 and like less than 700, I think.
Yeah, he's cheating though. So.
Yeah, I'd agree. He keeps saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna send solos until I get my next shadow," but then last night he was like, "Oh, can I join the raid?" Okay, to be fair, I think we asked, but still,
You asked.
not just me.
You asked specifically for him by his name.
Sub asked too.
Okay.
The only person I would ever expect to get a shadow is Villain because the 2 shadow splits I've been a part of have both been a Villain's name. So I'm like, okay. But it's funny, Villain like every night goes to sleep after a couple raids or sometimes like doesn't raid because he like his contacts he says as they make his eyes like blurry at night. So we added Wraith added an emote with 7TV and it was eyes just like looking like stoned and closing slowly. And we have it so anytime someone says Villain in the chat, it shows those little eyes.
Nice.
Yeah, Villain and Unholy as well had never used 7TV before last night, and they were just like, type in goodnight, and they're like, "Wait, why is this a cat?" And we're like, "Oh wow, you guys really don't know anything."
A cat?
Yeah, whenever you say goodnight, it's a little cat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, just like everything, they didn't know that some words were emotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out 7TV if you use Twitch. I would definitely recommend it. It's
I
cute.
like it just because it gives you access to a lot more emotes.
Yeah, like we'll just like what's the one? The Cappy Blappy.
Yeah.
It's just a capybara holding a gun
Cappy
and stuff like
Blappy,
that.
Meowdy, which is a cat with
Meowdy's
a
a strong one.
little cowboy hat
There's
on.
2 Meowdies. If you capitalize the M, then it's a much thicker cat.
Both are kitties with
Little cowboy hats.
cowboy hats on.
I want to get a tattoo of the Meowdy or a Meowdy. But yeah, that's what I was up to this week, and I think it was basically only sending raids. I didn't really do much off stream because I had family in town.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I kind of started working on my GI video again because I did give up on that for like a week. But
Nice.
I'm trying to do it because I'm the problem is I'm just like more excited for the next video, so I'm like procrastinating finishing it. We also like none of us have really been playing on the hardcore, so I should hit up the rest of the group and be like, oh, let's go do something together.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just go do like what, Temperos or something?
Yeah, probably Tempros or Guardians of the Rift or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have you been up to?
I have not played any RuneScape.
Mm-hmm.
This is a perfect time to also
Yes.
address
the accusations.
for anyone that listens on like Spotify, I think specifically, there's like a little section where you can like input stuff for each episode.
Yes.
Like you can answer questions and stuff like that. And someone did bring it up, and I thought it was funny.
Because this has been brought up before.
Yeah, this has been brought up before. Specifically because they were trying to answer the question, what is your favorite boss?
From DT2.
From DT2. And this person asked, why does Rob even play RuneScape?
To be fair, they did answer the question. They said Duke.
He did.
But
Or they did. Yeah, they said, why does Rob even play RuneScape? He hates this game. Seems like he only complains. That's
he doesn't
true.
hate
I do
RuneScape.
complain. I will give that to you. But no, what I like to the way I like to think about it is one, I think people can only be critical of things that they actually care about. Like usually if you don't care about something, you just will disregard it. Like it's not even worth complaining
like
about.
Earlier he was talking to me about like sound dampening curtains for recording the podcast, and I was just like, yeah, I just whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even criticize it because I'm just like, whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, like I care that the game gets better. And
if you didn't like the game, then I think you just be like, yeah, just change anything, who cares?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely care. I also play the game not that much, to be fair.
You're becoming a casual player over time.
Yeah, because I have other things to focus on.
Work and studying.
But I do complain a lot, but yeah, I feel like I'm critical. One, because I think it's more interesting as well.
It's
And-
kind of like turn into our dynamic. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, definitely, I have a hard time criticizing stuff, even if I want to. Like,
Yeah.
I won't say I don't like food. Robert's like, will ask me sometimes about dinner. He's like, do you like it? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And he's like, so you don't like it? And I'm like, well, I don't dislike it. Like, I have a really hard time being critical of some stuff.
Yeah.
Not everything.
I have a really easy time being critical of things because, well, one, I'm like a more experienced gamer in that I've played more games than you, like genre wise. So I have more things to compare it against. And I know,
Brag.
well, that's just factual. Like I just have
And he's saying it, and what's that? What did someone say in the
condescending voice.
his condescending tone?
Yeah,
that was
this
someone
is-
else that said
This
that
is
a
just
long
the
time
tone
ago.
of my voice. I'm sorry for anyone that is concerned by that. But yeah, I don't know. Just like one, I think it's more interesting. Like
Mhm.
in general, just like if you and I were just like, oh, these are the best decisions Jagex has ever made. Definitely nothing bad going on
You
here.
have to be critical to balance my lack of
Yeah,
criticalness.
and it's important to like, I don't know, call things out if they're like not very good decisions or if they're
Yeah.
just generally bad
True.
game design. Like I don't know.
I've been called
so-
out for the opposite, where Wraith has like given me grief for never voting no for anything on the polls.
Yeah.
Now I skip stuff at least, but I only ever vote yes for like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, he doesn't hate RuneScape.
No, also, I didn't dislike this statement either.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna say a
no.
question, but it wasn't even a question.
I thought it was funny because he definitely gives off that vibe. He doesn't hate RuneScape though.
No,
And you are not the only one to say that, so don't think we're like calling you out or anything.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
fine.
glad they brought it up because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, so we can clear up the rumor.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, people will think what they want, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
have my
the
reasons.
fact that you're so critical just also shows, like, in a weird way, that you're very passionate about the game, that you care more than a lot of other people, because you care weirdly a lot about some stuff that's so small that I just don't care about.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but that's cool. That is something we wanted to go over. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny going off the back of me saying I haven't played RuneScape at all this
Because he
week.
hates it.
Yeah, because I hate it. But no, I haven't played it at all. Like I said, just not a lot of time these days, and I've
Mhm.
really only been playing like one or two games here or there. This week it has mainly been Deep Rock
It is like
Galactic.
every week a different game.
It really is, yeah.
I
Because
didn't think about it. Last week it was like Path of Exile.
yeah, because like
Huh.
one week will go by and I'm like, oh, this seems really fun, and then I'll just play that because I only get like one day really of like a lot of game time, so I'll be like, all right, I'll do this for the day.
Weekends he goes crazy.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'll do this for the day, and then by the next week I'm like, I feel like playing something else. So eventually it'll cycle back to RuneScape, but
Yeah.
so far I was playing Deep Rock Galactic, really fun outer space killing
It
bugs
looks
as
a
a
lot of
dwarf.
fun. I'm just poor, so.
Yeah, really fun game. Would recommend it. Besides that, I did play what's the other game I played? Oh, I played Path of Exile as well.
I feel like there was something I had to say about games. A different game.
I don't
I don't
know. I also
remember.
played BattleBit.
Oh no, you played that the beta for that one game.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing you remembered. I totally forgot. But I played the beta for it's called Payday 3.
What'd you think of it?
I thought
Also,
it
the
was
beta
fun.
is closed.
The beta is closed. It's only for one weekend.
Robert told everyone about it, and then the next day was like, "Just kidding, it's
I
closed."
told them on Sunday and it was closed on Monday, so unfortunate. But yeah, it's actually really fun for anyone that hasn't played the Payday series and likes shooter games that you can play co-op with other people. Well, I guess it's multiplayer,
Yeah.
but it's up to 4 people, and the entire concept is really simple. You're just English dudes robbing banks.
Okay. I might. Should I say this or not? That my niece spent the night, and it was pretty
Oh,
funny. Her dad's a cop, and you could see we were watching a movie, and she kept glancing over and staring at our computers, shooting a bunch of cops in the game.
yeah, that's the whole point of the game is you're just shooting cops. Well,
She didn't say anything because she's like, but she kept looking for like, what?
yeah,
It's not like a violent game. I wasn't like, you
it's
can't.
not like a violent game.
Well, you can't like see stuff. It just looked
Yeah,
like.
it's not super like gory or anything like that.
I
You're
was just
just
thinking if my sister listened to this, would she be mad?
no.
I kept trying to bring her
it's a
attention
video
back.
game.
I kept bringing her attention back to the TV.
Yeah, the game's not like oh go kill whoever. It's a video game.
There wasn't blood. It
So
looked like either.
there is a little bit of blood, but
Oh, well, we
anyways.
couldn't see it.
So the general premise of the game is to
I'm
either
scared to get
like
in trouble.
sneakily steal stuff, like robbing places, and or just blatantly like fighting the cops to steal things.
That was your method.
Yeah. And the first game was good. The second game is still getting updates. Just got the last update like a month ago. And for like the last 5 years or 7 years that it was out or something, it got continuous updates.
It's not for a long time.
So yeah, pretty fun. I played the second one and the first one as soon as they came out. The third one is just more of the same. So if you liked it, then you'll like this one.
Yeah,
It's fun to
unfortunately, beta's
play with
closed
friends.
though.
Yeah, fun to play with friends.
So-
It's only $40 and is coming out in September.
Oh, cool. That's not too long.
Yeah, not too long at all.
Nice.
So that was all I was doing, really. No RuneScape. Like I said, I'll probably cycle back to it soon.
And I kind of
whenever
want to
have
go to
more
Winter
time.
Tot on my main though.
Yeah, because you
don't
want
know.
the pet.
I want the pet and I want 99 fire making and like I don't think I'm gonna get max by the end of the year, but I would like to get as close as I can. I'd like to get max or close before sailing comes out.
Yeah,
If I could just have the cape for a day, like I'd be happy.
for one day.
For one day, so I could just be like, oh, I did it, haha.
Luckily, it seems like
That'll be middle of the year.
sailing is not going to be viable, so it'll take you a long time to get it back, even if you do get it.
Hopefully, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, I would like to get max before that, and I figure that I have like a couple easy ones like fire making. So
Yeah.
I should actually work on them.
Yeah.
But I don't.
not a bad
But
idea.
I don't.
Especially because I think you have a few that are really fast left.
Herblore, crafting. I just don't want to spend money. Construction.
Do you have fire making?
I only have 92 fire making.
Yeah, I was like, there you go. That's really fast.
But yeah, I was thinking about like viable easy ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Like mining.
But we are not talking about maxing. We are talking about
Mobile UI
Mobile
reworks.
UI, incredibly interesting,
Way more interesting than maxing an account is
especially
mobile
for
UI.
all you actual mobile UI enjoyers, aka mobile players.
Yeah, I was like, what a weird way of saying that.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of a UI rework. This is actually something they teased earlier this year. This
Mhm.
was a really big UI rework. For anyone that doesn't play on mobile, it's not the best, and this I don't think is a big improvement,
Oh,
but
I should say, though I didn't read it, I was scrolling down looking through the screenshots. And
okay.
well, because it's on the UI, it's how they look. So I'm semi-informed.
Yeah. So they do use a what looks like an iPhone as a like test model here. So
Yeah.
you can actually see what it would look like before even installing it or trying it out. You can see what it would look like on an iPhone.
Yeah, the spacing they said may look different depending on your device.
Yes, it certainly will. Especially if you use like a bigger mobile device like a tablet. During the Winter Summit at the end of last year, we posted our plans for a mobile top level interface rework. After the blog came out, we received a lot of positive feedback about its potential, but also some understandable concerns. Honestly, to me, it just looks the same.
Pause for a second because I forgot that this was like literally during Winter Summit. This is
Yeah, this is a long time.
I have such a hard time imagining it would take that long.
Yeah,
I guess it did.
yeah, this was a really big overhaul, and like I said, I really didn't see the benefit of it. I don't know why people were so positive about it,
Well, I know
but
some mobile only homies that will probably appreciate it a lot.
yeah, maybe, or maybe they'll be like the regular desktop OSRS community and hate it because it's change.
Yeah,
We hate change.
we do hate change.
It was clear that our blog had failed to really showcase the potential of the new layout, which is kind of where I'm at,
Hmm.
or properly justify our approach from a player perspective. For that, we can only apologize. Going into the holiday period at the end of last year, we didn't give time to explain our new design in detail or to address your feedback directly afterwards.
Why are they apologizing 8 months later?
Well, because it's better late than never.
I guess.
They really take that to heart.
Yeah.
This time, we're going to give you the full breakdown of the design. Not only that, but we'll be visually showcasing its potential across areas of the game, which will be familiar to all of you. From chilled out activities like fishing and pickpocketing to more intensive activities such as the gauntlet.
What?
Also, pickpocketing elves is definitely not chill. By far, the most exciting update to this project is that we have fully functioning beta worlds. Pretty cool.
The
Uh,
bar's really
as
low,
as
isn't
opposed to
it?
the not functional at all beta worlds we had previously,
That's pretty funny.
which is not even a joke.
That's funny.
Although we had some unforeseen technical difficulties when releasing these worlds for forestry, we're confident in saying that they're in a better place than before.
Ideal.
Hopefully,
We would like to have
they work.
betas.
Hopefully they work. Uh, the team has been able to create betas as we saw with the Desert Treasure 2 ones, but we've been able to port in content that we are currently working on without worrying about potential impact on the rest of the game. Now we have finally the opportunity to safely test out things that we were working on for Forestry Part 2, the new bosses, and most importantly for this news post, the new mobile UI. So this is kind of just like a big announcement saying that they actually were able to turn the beta worlds back on.
It's not necessarily related to the mobile, but
Yeah. But mobile is here. Says that you
yes.
can try out the mobile UI beta on Thursday, August 17th.
Yep. Exactly a week from today, actually, when this comes out.
Yeah, exactly a week from today. I'm having a work event that day.
Oh yeah.
Before that happens, though, we want to visually demonstrate what the mobile UI can do. Further down in this news post, you can find hands-on preview of the gauntlet and some skilling finger tapping action. You can also
I don't like that.
you can also expect a live stream on Monday, August 21, over on the Twitch channel, where we'll be addressing FAQs if once the beta is live. So if you have any questions, feel free to go over there. Definitely better than Discord stages. We know how important it is to get this right, especially for those of you that mainly play on mobile. We want to ensure that everyone can get their hands on the beta. It's going to take a little getting used to. It's a new style, and they want your feedback. So
Cool.
pretty cool. They do have some screenshots as well. So if you are a mobile user, this might interest you heavily, especially
Yes.
because it looks like there is going to be access to some mods potentially.
Yeah. Well, before we jump into the shiny new interface features, let's break down the current UI so we're all up to speed. So along the left and right sides of the screen, you'll see something very familiar. The classic OSR is stones. I never really thought of them as stones.
Yeah, they're
Like
little rocks.
the buttons are stones. Okay.
That's how it is on desktop too.
I know I have them. I just thought that it was a gray square,
No, that's
like
also
much like a stone.
how all the words are on the login
Yeah, I
screen as
recognize
well.
the words, but I didn't process this.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is where you access all your side panels, and its functionally identical to its desktop counterpart, including the ability to only have one open at a time, with the more important stones featuring higher up on the screen. In the top right, you'll find the minimap, again identical to the desktop UI, but with the added feature to minimize it via the world map button, giving you more space. Wait, I never knew that was a thing.
Wait, what?
You can minimize the minimap.
Oh, I knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I've done it.
I guess it doesn't really matter, but I never knew that about
Depending on
mobile.
what I'm doing, which is usually like agility or
Skilling.
something, yeah,
Oh, that
skilling,
seems like it'd be
I'll
nice.
usually just turn it off.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so it makes it so that it'll only show like your health orb, your prayer orb, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So, because you don't really need to know where you're going if you're just chopping trees.
true. At the top left is the chat, a classic staple, and again, very similar to the desktop and how it looks, but flipped vertically in positions so that it won't be obscured by the on-screen keyboard. This can also be minimized by tapping on the currently selected filter, similar to the side panels. Tapping the speech bubble on the chat line will open up your device's keyboard to type a message. There are also a couple of handy utilities like tap to drop, which you can find in the function button above the left side stones. That one's really, really good.
Very handy.
Love doing that for AFK Redwoods. On the very right is the newly added side panel, which functions the same as the desktop client. This isn't enabled by default, but contains an XP tracker,
Tractor.
ground
In case
item
you need to
indicating,
move any heavy earth or anything like that.
and the loot tracker, with more to come in the future. So the current UI has lasted 4 years and arguably worked well enough, but when it comes to adding features that enhance the user experience, we don't have much room for expansion. We've all enjoyed the extra features that third-party clients have provided us for years, and we're integrating some of those features into our own client as described above. But in many cases, we found the current mobile interface just doesn't have space for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I saw I don't know if you've seen it, but the new Samsung flip phone, it
Oh, the
has
touchscreen flip
yeah,
one?
it has an even larger front face. So like obviously when you open it, you have that one that's
Mm-hmm.
touchscreen, but they have a larger interface on the front when it's closed
Yeah.
that they've made larger just this newest iteration. And someone was able to get OSRS to work on the very small front. It's like
Oh,
the size of a Game Boy screen. Like
that's
it's very, very
cute.
small.
Sounds awful, but it's
Yeah, it
cute.
looked awful, but at least they were able to get it
I
working.
love that.
Speaking of things that they're able to get working, chat. So
Segways.
the chat buttons are pulled straight from the desktop interface. They're pretty chunky on mobile and cover most of the top section of the screen, which blocks your thumb from tapping far into the distance. Meanwhile, the big red report button sits front and center above your gameplay because you should be using it more.
Yeah, I
To open
report people a lot.
to open the keyboard, you need to tap the tiny speech bubbles on the chat line, which is not only unclear but also inconvenient.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I always forget how to type on mobile, so as soon as I log in, turn off all my chats so no one will try to message me.
I
So I'm like, I
usually
don't even know how to reply to you.
So yeah, not only that, but I also turn off because it is such a large amount of real estate on your
It's a
screen.
huge amount of real estate.
And I'm like, if I'm on mobile, I'm not gonna want to talk to you.
Exactly. Just below the chat is the function button, which holds some very useful features. So most notably, this is the tap to drop. Huge, 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 huge. Unfortunately, the button isn't very responsive, subject to that classic lag that a lot of buttons in OSRS have with no visual feedback. Its size also makes it hard to interact with. This would be an excellent place to put new features if it could fix the current issues.
If only.
If only.
So we have the pop-out panel. On the right side of the screen is one of our newest additions, the pop-out panel, a familiar concept borrowed from RuneLite, stolen, and beloved by many. Unfortunately, its familiar position doesn't translate particularly well to mobile, hence why it's not enabled by default. It takes up the whole edge of the screen, and when opened, it entirely obscures the minimap, orbs, and inventory, arguably the most important features of the whole interface.
Yeah,
Um,
inventory
I
especially.
don't even know if that's arguable.
I'm looking at it right now, like the mini map and stuff, and I'm like, wow, there's so much stuff I just haven't tried to do on mobile.
Yeah.
So weird. Sorry, I don't want to get distracted.
Well, we have overlays as well.
All right. So when activity gets more complicated on screen, things start to go wrong. Imagine, say, you're in Soul Wars and have opened a clue. Just go with it. Our new clue upper will open up, but we also need to show you the Soul Wars overlay, your opponent's hit point, stat boosts, buffs, and debuffs. When you open your prayer panel, these overlays need to move out of the way, which means
What a crazy idea.
as you change prayers and eat food, these large overlays are jumping all over the place and almost obscuring the very center of your screen. It looks real bad.
Not only is this person a an ultimate Iron Man, but yeah, they are in Soul Wars with their chat open and also doing a multi-step clue.
Yeah, it's definitely like a master
And
clue.
they have their prayers open. All right.
Imagine you're in that situation.
And they are fully boosted with bolts equipped.
Okay, shut up.
They are. They have everything going.
They are.
Wow, okay.
I'm sorry.
So we have a bully in the house. So we have room for new features. It's difficult finding room to add new features. Let's say you have ground item indicators on, but we want you to be able to toggle that during gameplay, as it can get very cluttered if there are lots of items on the ground. You can't just press Alt like you normally could on desktop.
It's more annoying.
We can add that to the function button, but then we're sacrificing tap to drop. Or add it to the pop-out panel, but then it would require 2 taps, one of which obscures half the screen. We need a space to add new features with room to grow in the future.
Okay. Finally, ending on visual consistency in this section. So looking at the whole interface, the visual style is somewhat inconsistent. Take, for example, the side stones becoming red when selected, while the chat stones invert or some buttons have black outlines such as side stones, while others don't. The side panel has a rugged looking border to it, while the mini map has smooth metallic shading, and the pop-up panel has a solid rectangular background, while the rest of the UI is translucent or appears to be floating. It's confusing and just not as sleek and user-friendly as it could be. Really didn't notice all those inconsistencies until they pointed out, and you're like, yeah, this is really weird.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell someone that was either just not the best UX UI designer.
I feel like it's just because they were adding stuff over time and changing it, but not changing the base.
Honestly, I'm chalking it up and giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm
Mhm.
just hoping they were blind. So we can move into what's actually new.
He
So
actually
those,
does hate this game. You're right.
those were all of the problems, and we're gonna hopefully fix all of them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. This
What's
does look
new?
this does look a lot better. We'll pretend she didn't do that. So what's new? With all the issues above in mind, we set to work on redesigning the interface. We know there are some pretty major changes here, but we can assure you that we've opened our eyes when making it this time around.
Did they actually say that? No, they didn't.
We-
Bro, you're actually a bully.
We've also given the UI a new lick of paint, which hopefully keeps the old school feel while giving the UI consistency and making it making it more aesthetically pleasing.
Why are you even laughing?
I don't
Why are you
know.
even laughing?
I don't know, just giggly. Particularly for new players jumping in. We'd like to see what you think of the new UI design, taking everything into account. So let us know how you feel. Understandably, this can be a bit overwhelming.
What's funny?
Just-
Why are you giggling?
I don't know, just the funniest person alive, honestly.
You didn't even say anything funny. You're reading it. Are you still laughing at the thing we opened up our eyes? You're so stupid.
Oh, man, that was such a good one.
Are
dude.
you okay?
All right, under
He has tears in his eyes.
understandably, this can be a bit overwhelming alongside that UI design changes, but we hope that we can find a good balance for everyone. With that out of the way, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of what's changed and why we want it to change. So actually, they do have images if you are interested and don't really want to play the beta, which I know I for one don't, but this actually looks really nice.
Way
They
sleeker.
have like a slideshow to show you all of the different like pictures, whether inventory is open, chat's open, which hotkeys are available, and I think it looks really good.
I think it looks really nice. So the first thing that they talk about changing is these side stones. So one of the biggest changes will affect the most used part of the interface. We moved all the stones over to the right hand of the screen, which makes so much sense. Don't know why they were split up before. Didn't like it.
Yeah,
Not only does this provide some consistency in terms of design, but it also stops the overlays from jumping around to avoid the side panels, as they'll stay in the same area. This should free up more space for the new features we want to add.
yeah, this
Though-
is actually really cool.
I think it looks really good. I only skill whenever I do mobile. I don't do bossing. I do feel bad for people who do bossing that this is going to be very annoying potentially to get used to.
I think it'll be annoying, but overall, it seems way more efficient because at least how they have it set up here outside of Vorkath, they
Hmm.
show you what it's like to have your chat open, your hotkey open, your map, as well as your inventory, which looks honestly just as cluttered as it did before.
Yeah.
But they also show what it's like to have your hotkeys open, your chat
The
closed.
hotkeys part's really nice because that, I mean, we're gonna go over it in a second, I think, but
Yeah.
it shows up on the left side.
As well as on top of this, I don't know if you noticed, but whenever you hide your map, it also hides the second set of stones on the right side, making your screen actually a lot bigger.
Is that not just because of the hotkeys?
No, look at it. So if you have everything open like normal, it
Hmm.
shows it like normal. But if you
Oh.
have your mini map closed, like you're fighting a
Oh
boss,
yeah.
you don't need to know where to go.
You
So
probably don't need to change your music track and stuff.
there's two sets of stones on the right side, so you don't need both of them open in order to actually do combat.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks nice actually.
Yeah, and
It looks
it's
really nice.
also in the hotkeys you can put things like inventory, prayer, as well as even things like the loot tracker.
I think they're probably gonna mention it. We'll just have to say this all again too.
Well, that's fine. I think it looks really good, so I'd
He's
recommend
just really
checking it out.
excited to be here.
Yeah, they actually like I mean, I don't know. They tried this time.
They did. Oh, this time.
Well, here we go. With the new UI, you'll have all
They
of the
opened their
familiar
eyes this time.
have all of the familiar stones on the right-hand side in two separate columns. We made sure that the left column contains all the panels you're going to use across in high intensity gameplay throughout the game, while the second column will hold features that aren't necessary for fast-paced action. This also means any interface that's open that that interfaces that open due to the panels such as inventory, friends list, or prayer book will all now be on the right hand side. We'll touch on the benefits of that a little later. So for example, anything you might use in combats on the left side, everything on the right side is going to be things like skilling, emotes, friends list, stuff like that.
Music track.
And looks like I was wrong. Apparently at the very bottom you are able to hide the second set
Yeah, so it doesn't
of
have to do with the
stones.
mini map. So there's two different things that are adjustable. That's nice.
Yeah, two things are
I was gonna
adjustable.
say with it doing with the mini map, that'd be kind of like weird that you have to adjust your mini map to move
Yeah,
this.
it's nice that you have both
This
options.
makes more sense than what we thought.
So they go on to say, what else? Well, you have already spotted that the logout button has moved. We need to free up one stone for the collapse button, so we settled on the logout button. Similar to how the resize model layout works on the desktop, it can now be found in the top left with a reworked chat interface. The top left of the screen is a typical place to put back buttons or menu buttons in mobile apps. So while it's a little bit strange that it still opens a panel on the other side of the screen, we reckon it's a reasonable trade-off.
Okay.
To help prevent further misclicks and to give you a little bit more room, we added a handy button that'll let you collapse and hide the second column. This means you can truly focus on the heat of the battle. As a nifty addition, when collapsed, the click area of the side panels is actually wider than the current UI, meaning more accurate tapping. So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Yeah, if you need to tap to do prayers and stuff like that, it's a lot easier. We've also added a background to the column so we can keep the rounded shape of the buttons without any visible gaps between the columns.
Nice.
And finally, one of the biggest feedback points from the original news post was that you didn't want to be overloading actions onto your right hand, particularly during intense PVM or PvP encounters. We should have addressed this in our original post, so apologies. Throughout our
8 months later.
testing, we found that using the new hotkey feature spread out sequential actions alternately between both hands, which makes for faster, more reliable, and more comfortable button tapping goodness.
Okay. I hate just the way they say things. I don't
Yeah,
like.
they do have an example saying that you can use the hotkeys for your left hand, being things like the prayer book, swapping back to your right hand for mage, protect from mage, that is. Left hand back to your backpack, right hand back to your range switch, and then finally left hand to tap back on Zulra. So I guess that's a thing that is kind of relatable, I guess.
It's like kind of how I use my F keys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So your left hand will kind of be like a F key shortcut.
Mhm.
Right, a written example can only do so much, so we'd highly recommend checking out the gameplay and the videos in the news post to give a visual representation. We will preface that it will probably take a little time to relearn and gain that muscle memory.
Yeah.
And also another feedback point was around a left-handed version of the UI, which we're open to investigating, but unfortunately isn't implemented at the moment.
Yeah. So if you're left-handed, Screw you.
Yeah, maybe just lock your phone into landscape mode and turn it upside down.
True. Hotkeys. Introducing hotkeys. Previously, we had the small function buttons, which appeared above the side stones on the left-hand side. They worked well for the small number of features that we had in mind, but they also presented problems in terms of functionality and responsiveness. Instead, we've used the free space to implement 5 customizable hotkeys, which can be assigned to a variety of settings and actions. They're very similar to F keys found on desktop, but with a wide array of features, which can also increase over time based on feedback. We can also add brand new features here too. And speaking of new features, we're already planning a few that'll be very familiar to users of RuneLight, such as tile highlighting mode and a quick option to toggle ground item names. 2 features we've been unable to fit into the existing UI. That also means adding extra layers for you to do things you're already used to, like a special attack button, quick prayer toggle, or run toggle. With hotkeys, you can customize your buttons exactly to your playstyle or for a very specific activity, making it easier than ever to go between your activities across the game. You can set up up to 5 hotkeys in this menu, and most will work by either enabling, disabling the selected feature, like tile highlighting mode, or opening up the side stone panels, such as inventory, equipment, or even your music. As an example, your setup could include having a backpack and prayer tiles for the fastest flow during combat, ground tiles and special attack buttons for convenience during a Slayer task, or tap to drop during Blast Furnace. And these buttons are much more responsive than the old function button, with tap to drop in single 2 modes. In single 2 modes now toggling instantly. We want to stress that even though the interfaces of the side panels and the panels themselves are on the right-hand side, the flow of how you play by using the hotkeys gives a much more comfortable and responsive experience that will benefit everyone.
Yeah, so
Supposedly.
kind of just like your F keys, it
Yeah, it's
seems like.
literally just F keys.
Yeah. They do address the pop-out panel. For those of you currently playing mobile, you should be very familiar with the new pop-out panel that was introduced last year.
I still haven't activated it on mine, to be
Me
honest.
neither.
I forgot about
I
it.
don't think either of us have played since that's come out.
I mean, I've played on mobile for sure. I just forgot and never
Well,
even turned it on.
not like substantially. I think we've played like here and there, but like
Yeah.
unlike the current placement of the pop-out panel, which completely interferes with your gameplay by disrupting your use of the inventory and the right hand side panels.
He's fancy.
Yeah. It also has 3 separate modes: hidden, full, and mini. So hidden, just a small button to be expanded. Mini only showcases one of the feature panels in a minimal style. Useful for keeping track of one specific piece of information without taking up a lot of your screen.
Yeah, it's perfect if you're skilling.
Yeah, perhaps a skill button. And also full. A full version that'll give you as much information and options as we can fit into the screen. So this is essentially just your full-blown skill panel that you can usually see in a skill tracking thing like in RuneLight.
And your, loot tracking and all that too.
Yes, of course. Anything like that.
New chat. The entire chat interface can now be collapsed using the brand new toggle button, meaning you've got more space to play if you're going it solo. However, if you want one chat channel open without the filters at the top, you can use the chat filter button to only display the current filter you have in focus. So you can easily have access to those in-depth clan discussions around the best spot in MLM. With the filters hidden, you can also have more lines visible, which not only means you can see more chat, but you'll be able to tap further into the distance. We've also replaced the tiny speech bubble with a bigger and easier to use keyboard button. It's been made deliberately small and sandwiched between 2 relatively unimportant buttons, as we don't want you to open your keyboard accidentally during high octane and intense activities.
High octane.
In the future, the chat line will also have a clipboard support. Carrot support? How do you say that? Carrot?
Yeah, caret. It's the exponential symbol.
Like exclamation marks and
it's
stuff?
an arrow upwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And selection support. To compensate for the horizontal space taken up by the new buttons, the chat area itself has been made slightly narrower, but the whole chat, including the buttons, still takes up the same amount of space as before. You might also notice that all the buttons down the left side of the screen have the same width. This is to help the interface feel more balanced, and to keep overlays such as health bars and clue helper more stable in position, with the wide buttons being slightly easier to tap to. As for that glaring report button, we've tucked it into a long press option on the chat toggle, so it's not as much of a focus as it was before.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And next thing we have is the mini map, something that you actually are going to be focusing on. There isn't too much to focus, or there isn't too much to discuss rather with the mini map. Aside from us rearranging the minimized version to look cleaner and take up less space, honestly, it looks clean. I think
It
it
looks
looks
super
yeah, I think it
clean.
looks
You click
nice.
it to the side and like everything just like straight. It just looks nice.
Before, whenever you got rid of the mini map, it kind of like all the buttons kind of like arranged themselves almost seemingly randomly in the top right,
Yeah, this looks
and they were like
smooth.
on top of each other in weird ways. This looks nice.
It looks
Everything is
really
lined up
good.
how it should be, and just as large as you would probably want it.
Hmm.
And the wiki button and the world map buttons have also been reworked for visual consistency and easier tapping. Honestly, they could just get rid of that on mobile.
The wiki?
Yeah, the wiki
No,
button and the world map button,
disagree.
I don't think you need that. You could probably just turn those into long holds on the mini map, and then I'd be okay with that. But that is that is it. They do have demos
Yeah,
though.
some videos. So you could go and check these out. I didn't watch them because I'm not much of a mobile gamer, but they look like they'd be pretty interesting. I really
Yeah,
like how the interface looks. Actually, I
they
think it looks
have
really good.
two really strong or three, four really strong demos. Okay, but really it's only of two different things. One is going to be more intense gameplay. They do have a showcase of what it would look like to play the Gauntlet, which
Hmm.
is honestly some of the top end stuff that you can do in the game.
I would hate to do Gauntlet on
It's
mobile.
not CG, it's just regular Gauntlet. So take that for what you will, but you can see someone doing fairly high level content. And on
Nice.
top of that, you can contrast this with other things like Rooftop Alchemy,
Ugh,
which is fairly click
I
intensive.
don't even do that on PC because it sounds too intensive.
Yeah, so this is Alkagility for anyone familiar with that.
Uh,
And then we also have pickpocketing and fishing, which is fairly low effort.
yes.
And so you can actually get a feel for what all of that has in store. That is really the end of the notes, though. So I would recommend checking those out if you are a mobile user and are concerned or really just curious to see what this looks
Yeah.
like, because I think it looks really good
Yeah,
overall.
and per usual, they're looking for feedback, but reminder there will be a beta if you want to wait till after that to give your feedback. So you or actually could try it out first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I wonder who do you think did these videos?
Are we gonna look?
Just based on their hand. No, without
It says
watching
from a
it.
JMod's perspective.
From a JMod.
I don't know, like
Whose hands are these?
Aiza.
Yeah, it has to be Aiza, right?
I didn't realize he like streams. I've
Yeah.
been seeing him in a bunch of people's chats on Twitch, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
Aiza has
forget that
like a separate
people.
streaming channel.
I forget that like people who work for Jagex play the game sometimes.
Well, I mean, it's very rare, but yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's honestly, I think most of the devs do play. I think it's just the big wigs that don't.
The big wigs.
Yeah,
The
unfortunate
corporate
venture
side.
capitalist scum. But anyways, we can move on to Desert Treasure 2. Some
Further changes.
not so interesting content. Honestly,
I liked
the
it.
UI stuff seemed a little more interesting to me, mostly just because we've been talking about DT2 and the changes for seemingly forever at this
Yeah.
point.
The changes weren't as exciting as I thought they'd be, but I mean, there's nothing specifically I was looking forward to. I did actually read these notes.
Yes, so you can kick us off.
Yeah. So we've seen some players getting extra quartz after their first chunk and having nothing to do with them. So we've introduced a new way to use them. A mysterious new chest has appeared in the basement of the ancient vault where you can exchange your spare quartz for dragon plate skirts, dragon dart tips, soul runes, and more. I love it whenever they have untradeable stuff that you could turn in,
Yeah,
which they still need to do for the threat of Elidinus in TOA.
yeah,
Like, and
they
the extra
definitely do.
gems. I'm like, something, please. Just give me more rune catches or something.
I agree. And
Yeah.
also on top of that, for anyone wondering, someone did post their loot. So obviously it's a test pool of one person,
Hmm.
but they did turn in 7 of these extra quartz and were able to get around 900k between all of the dragon items that dropped as well as
Okay.
runes.
Nice.
So it's fairly rewarding, better than nothing.
Yeah, better than you literally couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah. So we're gonna start off with Vardorvis.
Yeah, some boss changes.
Yes. So the prayer projectile is now colored green to indicate that it is a ranged attack.
That
At
just makes
least,
sense.
yeah. At least one spike will always spawn when Vardorvis uses his jump/dash attack. This shouldn't impact any current metas or killing the boss. Also, there was a weird 2 consecutive blood capture attack that should no longer happen.
Have you seen videos of what that attack looks like?
Yeah,
It's so weird.
I've seen
It's
all the bosses except for the Whisper, not as much.
okay. It's like it's breaking the fourth wall and just
Yeah.
having you click. It just feels weird. I don't like hate it, but it
I'm just
feels really
waiting
weird.
until like they come out with like the expert mode, and it's like click on each one that's a motorcycle.
They're like click each boat.
Yeah, it's like
in the middle of the boss
which
fight.
one of these are buses?
Hit it fast, otherwise you
It-
get smacked.
It's like, oh, you were wrong, do it again.
The next boss that they changed a little bit was the Whisper. So you'll now see hit splats for sanity damage. Before it was just like in the top left corner. So if you have a big screen like me, like I didn't even notice it for multiple KC. The Whisper should no longer incorrectly do more attacks in a row than intended. The Whisper's entrails will spawn even if you're no longer in the fight arena when the boss is defeated. The boss should now correctly drop clues. The respawn timer has been decreased slightly. Fix some issues that would cause a perfect kill to fail.
Yeah, that was a big one. A lot of people were complaining about that last week and this week. But glad to see that's changed. Also, something about blood capture reminded me today. I was like logging into I was looking up a bunch of people on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and they have like a captcha that I've never seen before. It's like one half will be a hand pointing a direction,
Oh.
like on a clock essentially, and then you have to point a bunny rabbit on the right side towards the same direction the hand is pointing.
Oh,
And
that's an interesting one.
that's their captcha.
Dude, on Twitter earlier, it was weird. I tried to DM someone and it was just like, your account has been locked. And it was like, showed a bunch of tiles and they're like, which tiles have the same picture? And I was
Which
like,
one?
what? And I had
There
to
you go.
resend the message. It was just me trying to message someone and I was like, hello, how much would a commission cost? And they're like, you've been locked.
Anyways, speaking of being unlocked, we have the
That doesn't even
Leviathan.
make sense. What do you mean, speaking of being unlocked?
What do you mean?
How are you
unlocked Leviathan.
Oh, God.
So we have Leviathan. You'll no longer receive the your melee attacks can't reach the lure message when trying to autocast in melee range. We've adjusted the color of the melee projectile to be clear for players with visual impairments,
Nice.
and casting shadow spells should now grant the default cast XP. And finally, fix some issues that would cause a perfect kill to fail.
Frustrating. For the Duke, there is only one small change. So the vent attack during the preparation phase is no longer random and is thus predictable.
Yep, people have already come out with the exact way to defeat this phase. So
That's nice.
yeah, pretty easy now. We've also made some small adjustments to the mighty Soul Reaper axe. The Soul Reaper axe will no longer prevent you from using its special attack if you don't have enough regular special attack energy. And if a Phoenix necklace healing effect procs, it will no longer reset your soul stacks. Players can no longer pull up an interface to stall the soul stack timer. And last but not least, they have a few miscellaneous changes.
Miscellaneous.
A number of rewards have been given inspect options, hinting at what
Miscellaneous.
Michelle truly is a gullible little Billy.
Oh, it was a joke?
Hinting at what players should do with them. A new music track has been added for the Stranglewood. We've made it clear that players need to read a tablet before burning a boat inside the scar. And finally, we've made it clear that players need a key to unlock chests inside Lasar.
Nice. Some other changes. Ancient icons can now be ground into 5,000 ancient essence using a pestle and mortar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Players, dude, I want to see what this looks like. I read this and I laughed out loud. Players can no longer kill Apprentice Tamara during the Guards of the Rift minigame.
Nice.
She's just sitting there doing her job and people were
I just
killing her.
imagine her like folding while you're
She's
getting
like,
chaos
"Oh."
runes.
Bounty Hunter is now accessible after 12 hours of login time rather than 48, provided the player satisfies the other requirements.
Nah.
You don't know about that?
We should go back. Anyways, the PvP arena is main loadouts, so log in if you like that. And that is it.
Yeah.
Not a ton to go off of.
Yeah, not much to go off of at all, but thankfully we do still have our Q&A.
Yeah, luckily. Because
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
was-
sure go ahead.
I was gonna say I was surprised that the mobile UI was like more than even the update.
Yeah,
This
that's
would've
what I was saying.
This would have been a great week to have a guest on, but we were so busy with like in real life stuff that we didn't even think about it
Yeah.
until like last night. I was like, this could have been a good week. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got through all these notes in less than 7 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot. Not a lot going on.
Like 5 minutes.
Either way, I mean, they are good changes. Almost all of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
I mean, I don't see any that I'm like, oh, that sucks. But yeah, they do seem like good changes, so that's nice. Even if there isn't many. Hopefully, this means that there's gonna be more to go over next week, though.
I hope so. I hope they need to just do the next quality of life thing.
They do.
When are they gonna announce like
they've been really once they fall off the boat, they really fall off.
you know they also didn't do a Gilnor Gazette for June
Yep.
or July.
That's what I'm saying. Whenever
Because
they
I actually submitted something. I was like, oh, I wonder if I could be in it. And they're
The-
like, you know, we're gonna stop now.
yeah. Whenever they're all like, "Oh, we're gonna do this every 6 weeks, or we're gonna do this every 1
They need
month,"
to not say. They just need to say more frequently.
as soon as they stop, they're all like, all right, we've already missed it. Let's just never do this again.
That's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
They're all like, all right, we just pretend we never actually did
I
this to
think
begin
they
with.
just need to set more realistic goals and just say more. Don't say set dates because then it'll just be like disappointing if it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Either way, we have some questions to go over, even last minute write-ins
Yeah,
from
Fim-
our favorite Yeet Griet.
Heat. Nicolas.
Yeah, like I said, from Yeet, we have another question as well, so that's cool.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just start out with Yeet's question. So how do we feel about the Scythe? It's a mega rare from arguably the hardest raid, and now it turns out the Shadow is better at part 2 Versic than the Scythe is.
Yeah, someone actually just came out with that information
Really?
today.
I didn't know that. The Scythe is practically only worthwhile on top compared to the bow and the shadow, which are undeniable best in slot weapons in their respective combat styles. How should we move on from here? Is the Scythe dead content? Should it be buffed? Are Jagex right for being more concerned with the usage cost than the combat ability? And should other items be nerfed?
Yeah,
We were talking about this the other day, and we were like,
yeah,
not arguing, but strong feelings.
I don't really even recall this.
You weren't here. You were asleep. You were
Oh,
asleep.
I thought you said we as in you
Oh
and
no,
I.
on stream. Sorry.
Okay. I was like, I don't recall this at all.
Do you want to answer first or me?
I mean, I think it's easily the worst mega rare.
It's weird because the other mega rares are worth a bill each, and then the Scythe is, I think it's worth 500 mil right now.
Yeah, at
I
one
got it for
point,
350 mil
yeah, I
a
was
few
like,
months ago.
at one point it was 300.
Like,
so
it's tops T-Bow. Why is it so cheap?
yeah, I think it's been known it's been needing an upgrade for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't think so is kind of just crazy or hasn't
Hot take.
or hasn't done top because it is difficult.
I feel like, yeah, top is supposed to be the most difficult raid. I'm having the hardest time understanding compared to the other raids for sure.
Yeah.
So we're talking about it compared to the Fang specifically, on if the Fang should be nerfed because of it.
No.
I don't think that the Fang should be nerfed. I think that maybe the Scythe should be better, or they should make stuff that like is particularly weak to the Scythe. Because everyone kind of thought that the Scythe was going to be really good for one of the new bosses. I mean, it's nice for the Duke. I don't even know if it's best for the Duke though, to be honest.
I think it probably is, but like it's a competition, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. One's a mega rare and one is you can
Yeah.
get in like a level 50, right?
What I've always thought they should do is, well, one, they should make items that are supposed to be niche items more niche. Like they should make it so that the this is how it was sold to us to begin with. They should make it so that the Fang is really good against high defense things.
Yeah, I know this is what was a hot take, was that I kind of think the same. I don't think that they should like nerf the Fang necessarily,
No.
but like maybe going forward, don't make the Fang the best everywhere.
Well, I think they should nerf it not in like overall strength, but in just accuracy.
Where it's good.
Yeah, like maybe even have like accuracy fall off for lower level things. That wouldn't make sense, but like maybe just make it so if things have higher, kind of like how the T-Bow is, if things
Mhm.
have higher defense, then it does more damage.
Yeah, like the T-Bow's good most places, but not everywhere.
Yeah,
And the
like
Scythe, like I hardly ever use my Scythe. I'm like, oh, better bring my Fang.
yeah, like kind of how like whether it was correct or not, but kind of how Clone was saying about Leviathan, where Leviathan, the T-Bow's not super good unless it's in the hard mode, because then the defense gets turned up so much.
I
The
remember we
T-Bow
talked
is
about
good.
this last week, and I was like, I don't remember Clone saying that. And again, I'm like, oh, I forgot again.
Well, even if, like I said, whether it's true or not, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, if the Fang was like that, they're all like, "Oh, Akka, really high defense. Guess
Mhm.
what? Guess what's good at it? The Fang."
Yeah.
And that would be like, okay, that's cool. Because also along the same lines, the Rapier sucks in
Oh,
comparison.
yeah. I've never even wanted to have the Rapier.
They should make the Rapier do what the Fang couldn't and hit like a truck against like lower defense things.
Yeah.
Like it should be able to easily be better against like, low level Slayer task mobs, stuff like that. Because currently as it is, there's the Fang's more expensive for a reason now. It's because the Rapier is not that good.
Yeah. And the Fang is, I think that they definitely played themselves making the Fang as common as they did.
Yeah, they did. I
Yeah.
said that like almost the first day it came out.
But at this point, I feel like if they changed the drop rate, it would.
Oh, here we go with the blowpipe fiasco all over
I know. I
again.
think it'd be too late. I
yeah.
don't think that they can. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that they could really nerf anything. I just think that they could change how it works going on. I think that they need more stuff that somehow or another is like weak specifically to the scythe, not just like scythe, but it's only marginally better than the fang. Like
Yeah.
it's would be significantly better.
The reason I brought up the Fang is because I think they need to
Well, they
do
kind of
the
go hand in
same.
hand because everyone's using the fang instead of the scythe.
Yeah, and also I think they need to do the same exact thing to the Scythe as I want them to do to the Fang. The Fang, I think they should nerf and make it so that it's better against high defense enemies, because then it would still be good. Same thing as the Blowpipe, really good at what they made it good for, which is low defense enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And they could do the same thing with the Scythe. Like they should make it so if you have more than 3 like hitboxes, it should undeniably be the best thing.
True. Yeah, if you do like the 3 hits, I've done it and they're all zeros. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly. Like
okay.
maybe
Maybe it could,
I don't know.
it could
I
have
don't
a
know if
special or
you're gonna make
something.
it so like, oh, if it has more than 3, you have higher accuracy, or if it has more than 3, maybe it hits 5 times. I don't know. I don't care. It should be better.
Yeah. It's a mega rare. And
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a mega rare.
Yeah.
It just feels like a good item.
Like it should be like, oh, there's these 5 things. Tebow undeniably the best.
I feel like, yeah, every raid, this sounds like hopefully not pretentious, but like every raid should have something worth a bill. If 2/3 of them has something over bill, why is the scythe worth half as much?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even care about the price. I just think.
But I mean, like it's not as valuable.
Yeah, along the same lines.
Yeah.
There should just be something where like you get this and you're like, now I'm gonna go like destroy this. Like if you get a Tebow, you're like, all right, I'm gonna go farm Sarah Doman.
Yeah.
Because that's free content at that point.
I worry though if we're doing the crab mentality thing. Do you know what that is? We've been saying it a lot lately on stream.
The crab mentality?
The crab mentality. So, because we were talking about changing, like nerfing the Fang or making the scythe more expensive. And the little bit of hot takeness was like someone in the chat was saying, like, but why like ruin it for everyone else or something, basically. So the crab mentality is supposed to be, we talked about, I can't say it exactly, but
I understand.
the gist is a crab is climbing out of a bucket.
A crab in a bucket, yeah.
Yeah, a crab's getting out of a bucket to go and survive, and the other crabs drag it down because if it's gonna die, they're gonna die too.
That doesn't make any sense.
Is that the crab mentality? Because I don't want to be like that.
No.
The real life example is those people who don't want student loans forgiven because they've already paid theirs. Like, if I suffer, everyone suffers.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
I just think that this should be more valuable.
You can delete all the sides. I wouldn't care. I would still have this take.
Okay.
Like I think I'm the better one to like disregard that because I don't have any of these items and I think
That's
it should
true.
be more expensive.
Yeah.
It just makes sense for the good of the game that an item that is
mega rare,
hardest item to get arguably from this most difficult raid is the worst, most difficult item to get.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And people are choosing an item, like one of the easiest items to get TOA over it in a lot of situations.
Yeah. And it's not like the other items from Tob are just so good that it evens out. Justicar, only good in like one place in the game.
Justicar.
Yeah, okay. Rapier, good at no places in the game.
Never even used one.
Sanguinesti, good at.
You know, Avernic's worth a lot now.
Avernic, yeah.
It's worth 80 mil now.
Avernic is good because there's literally no other option.
Sanguinesti is really good.
The Sanguinesti is okay if you need help.
Not worth as much as I would have expected.
If you're using Ancients, you're not going to bring it though.
True. I just liked it for Kraken.
Yeah. So it's like so the only thing is the offhand because there's literally no other option.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I know everyone says that Tob's like a lot of money. Maybe it's just because you get purples frequently because they're quick once you're good at it. But I'm like, nothing there is worth as much as the other raids. Like there's you'll be excited to get these drops, of course, but you won't have the excitement that you feel if you're getting a Tebow or a Shadows drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I like that question a lot though because we were discussing it a lot this week on stream.
Yeah, like if you are fighting Verzik, which is a
if
giga large boss,
Shadow on Verzik and is better than Scythe, like that's
ridiculous.
That just means that Scythe needs to be buffed. That's not even anything else.
I think
Scythe needs to be buffed.
something as simple as if the mob is +3 tiles, you get a certain amount of increased accuracy. If they're +4 tiles, you get this amount of increased accuracy. Just so that it has higher DPS, not a higher max hit, not more hits, although those would be cool too. Just making it so it hits more frequently, I think that would be enough.
Yeah, I would agree. Something, please, something.
Yeah, because it's useless everywhere. It would still be useless everywhere else.
Yeah, I only use it at Chambers and like when I rarely go.
Yeah, it's like
and Duke now. I guess.
What's this item good against? That's the one of the best items in the game. Duke and bloat. That's
The
it.
end.
That's it.
The
Like,
end.
all right.
Our next question is from Harger, also on Discord. So Harger last week suggested something about like bridge construction. So this is like kind of in the same vein, but this time it's a collaboration between mining and agility called tunnel digging. This could be used to quickly escape dungeons in certain areas where the walls are mineable, to access ancient burial chambers with new bosses and awards, and to mine through city walls or dig under them in certain areas. I know such agility shortcuts already exist, but as far as I know, I don't think you can create them yourself. This update requires both mining and agility to successfully use a shortcut. The hole you dig will not last forever. For example, an escape from a dungeon or an entry to a burial chamber will be sealed up again naturally by the land collapsing around a few minutes later, and the city wall will be repaired by city workers. I like it. I think that I would get annoyed about closing up, first of all. But that's kind of like what's the Brimhaven dungeon that you have to pay to go into every time or unlock it? Is it just the Brimhaven
Yeah,
dungeon?
it's just the
Just
Brimhaven
the Brim
dungeon.
that it
The
kind
one
of
with all
reminds me of
the
that.
dragons and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never want to go there again. It just annoys me. Thinking of all the dragons. But I like it. The first thing I thought was just like the closing up behind you. I think that I would want it to be something that you could unlock potentially in some way or another to make it open at all times.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you just wouldn't utilize it much if it closed no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's I actually don't have a problem with that. I
Mhm.
actually think it's a decent enough
Closing it
idea.
every time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that would mean like you have to bring some stuff, like you have to have some intention.
You have to bring like a pickaxe with you.
Yeah, it's not just like an unlock because
Yeah.
it's just like once it's unlocked, it's like, all right, cool, that's there all the time.
True, and
It's kind of like how
so you have to think about.
like fairy rings.
Yeah, the drum and stuff.
Yeah, like
Okay, well maybe it's something like once you're all done with your Falador Elite, they're unlocked because of the mining guild.
yeah, maybe something like
That could
that.
work.
I think it'd be cool if like it was like kind of an intermediary of both, where like you can dig to a new area, but it would be a new area that connects an old area.
Hmm.
And so like for instance, like if you are in the Karamja dungeon, maybe it connects you. I don't know what's near the Karamja dungeon, so this is a bad example, but
To Lombard Swamp.
yeah, or a better example would be like the ice caves before they had the shortcut.
Oh, okay.
So let's say like you can dig into a new area that has like goblins or hobgoblins as well as like maybe a few other mobs that aren't normally found there. So you'd have
Mhm.
access to these different mobs that might introduce a new like place for this weird meta
Yeah.
if you have this unlocked. And then you could also use it as a shortcut to get to this new area or
Mhm.
to the old
It
area.
would definitely be nice. I just don't know if it would just be an extra version of agility.
That's kind of what it does seem
Because
like.
isn't there? Oh, you know what it is? It's kind of like the agility where you have to bring a crossbow
Okay.
or the grapple.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
to be honest, I never do those specifically because it sounds annoying to bring extra stuff.
Well, yeah, usually they are
I don't know if
kind
that's just
of
me.
not very useful. Like, what a
Yeah.
unit get over the wall of Yanil a little faster.
I mean, like, I wish I could. I always look at it and I feel annoyed. And I'm like, but not annoyed enough to bring it.
Yeah, I think it is really similar to agility shortcuts, but regardless of how you would get there, I think the first idea is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, more shortcuts, I wouldn't be opposed to that just because agility is such a pain to level.
yeah.
Just running in circles.
I think if it like did that addition for me as like adding new potentially good or just quirky other places to farm
Yeah.
that aren't like terrible and they connect kind of like a shortcut, pseudo shortcut to old areas, that'd be kind of cool.
I'd be down for it.
But yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know how much I'd use it though.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much I'd use it.
I'd
but
probably
would be
use it a
cool.
lot early on, but once I get tellies, I'd probably stop using it.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's
seems
kind of
like
just how I am with
everything.
agility.
That kind of seems how everything is. So.
That's true. Yeah, it would be useful for a time though.
Yeah.
Hauger actually had 2 questions this week. The second question: what would your thoughts be on members having some sort of say as stakeholders of Jagex in Jagex corporate structure? For example, in promotions or new hirings of the JMods team. Of course, it wouldn't be the final decision maker, but maybe players could have a vote and the transparency could be increased so players are informed about the ideas new potential employees or managers have on the future of the game. I don't want that. I think that the community is way too intense.
Yeah. I could see this I like this in a different way.
Okay.
I like this if they're all like, yo, we're gonna make this new change to the game like they have now with the pull system, but you know how sometimes they disregard the pull system. Like
Yeah.
if they did that, but they emailed everyone.
Oh, so not in game.
not in game, because I mean, some people don't log in for weeks. Maybe they got stuff going on,
So
but
then
most
it'd
people
only be
check.
active people.
Yeah, most people check their emails.
True.
Even young people, old people, they check their
I
emails.
weirdly love checking my email.
Usually people, I mean, obviously there's some people that haven't gotten to the habit of it, but
Yeah.
if you're an adult, you're definitely checking it. If you're a young adult, there's chances that you're probably going to check it anyways.
Yeah.
At least to some extent. So I think if they're like, "Oh, we're making this big thing," they send out email to everyone, and then you can answer it from there. You don't have to log in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that would be, well, I mean, if you have multiple, I think you run into issues with the multiple email type things, but
True.
yeah, I think something like that would be cool, and then they stick to it.
I'd be worried about us having a say in stuff like promotions or new hiring because I know that people can be very vindictive. Like if they
Yeah.
got mad at a mod, they could try to lash out and be like, they don't deserve a promotion.
Yeah, I didn't really have a strong idea for the first one, but I actually have a pretty strong one for this one,
Okay.
where I think if someone getting hired and they introduce them before they get hired, and as like a last minute, like, here, this is who's getting hired, this is what they're gonna do, this is their portfolio. If they're like a known person, I think if you get like a 90% plus no vote, then they would go back and review it, not fire them,
Oh,
but they'd
okay.
go back and be like, why do people hate you so much?
Yeah.
Because like 90%, that's we never get 90%.
True.
So it's like that would be a really big no.
Yeah.
But
I
either
don't.
way, I don't think it should happen. But if it did, I think that'd be the
Yeah.
only way that I would.
I'd just be too nervous about people doing stuff specifically in bitter ways.
Oh, they would. They
Yeah.
would. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like the amount of stuff that I see like tweeted at like Mod Ash and stuff that's like people blaming for stuff that's not even related to devs at all. It's just like
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't really know what's going on. I don't think that as a collective we know what's going on enough to have a say in that, including like us.
Yeah.
As people who do the podcast, I don't think that we know
I don't
enough.
think it should exist, but I think if it did exist, it would have to be like an
Mhm.
exorbitantly large number, like 95% no
Yeah.
or something.
But what I do think is that they should be more transparent about new people and they could just do like little intros. They do that a little, but like maybe say some of their ideas going into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of mods people don't know
hmm They do like
contribute to the
sometimes
game.
they'll be like, oh, this person just joined the team. I guess that maybe they wouldn't want to share their new ideas because people get very stuck on new ideas. Like we get obsessed. They mentioned the capybara once. Robert added a capybara walk emote to our channel that he uses every day now.
What can I say?
You're obsessed.
But yeah, I think that would be I think they should introduce more of them though, because it'd be like, oh, with the help of mod whoever, and everyone's like, who the heck is this mod?
Mhm.
Like, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
But they've been
It
there
wouldn't
for
hurt
like
to say
5
more.
years.
Yeah. Our next question is from Matt over on Instagram. So Matt had an idea on something called the Bazaar, the medieval eBay. And before you write this idea off, because it's the same thing as the GE, read further. Because I read that and I was like, okay, Grand Exchange.
Yeah.
The idea of the Bazaar is to make sales by grouping items. This is similar to a bank sale. However, the system is standardized and players can offer, for example, 30 raw scrimps, 5 U logs, and 1 Dragon Warhammer, and set a period of time in which the offer is valid. The entire offer must be purchased. Even if you only want the 30 raw shrimp, you also have to buy the U logs and Dragon Warhammer. Can you imagine just
Damn,
wanting
it sounds
shrimps?
cool.
Do
I like this.
you?
Yeah.
There are 2 sale options, set price or highest bidder. I kind of like the idea of highest bidder for new items. I think that'd be fun. The set price option allows the players to determine an exact price they're asking for. The highest bidder option allows the seller to determine a period of time in which the offer is valid and hope that other players will bid an offer and raise the price based on bidding wars. So the actual bazaar would be located in Al Kharid, of course. It's available in both free to play and pay to play. It will work like the GE, where you talk to some sort of NPC who opens a marketplace interface for you.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't like the bidding.
I actually liked the bidding, but I could see how the bidding could turn toxic.
The bidding, I feel like one has a lot of negative sides, and on top of that, it really only benefits people that play 24/7.
That's true.
You
Like
can't
it'd be
just
frustrating.
you can't just be like, "Oh, good deal, snap it up." You're like, "All right, good deal. I guess I have to
True.
sit here for 7 minutes and get this last minute deal, hopefully."
Yeah, I think I was just thinking more of the fun aspect rather than eBay was actually very annoying, like in its most popular, trying to bid, and then last second someone snipes it from you, and it's like,
Yeah, it sucks.
okay.
Unless it's like a not super popular item at that point, who cares?
Yeah.
But
That's true. You've convinced me that I don't like the bidding.
yeah. Besides that, I think the bulk thing is cool. And I
Mhm.
think if it was still searchable as like it showed like if you typed up dragon and it showed like all the dragon items and then at the bottom it showed like all the packages that had dragon items included in it so you could
Mhm.
still sort through them to some extent. Like dragon pickaxe, it would show the pickaxe, maybe whatever else would show up like the kits or whatever, and then all of the like random things that people put together.
I'm assuming they'd have to be like bundle deals. Otherwise, why would you do this over the GE?
Yeah, yeah,
It
no,
would have to be
definitely.
cheaper,
Well,
or something would have to be different.
I don't know. I don't know about like cheap. Well, I think maybe in total the items are cheaper.
Yeah,
Like
like
if you're all
the
like, I want
shrimps
to sell this,
and
I want to sell like a bunch of this junk, but I also don't think it'll sell for as much as I want.
so I'll put this big
So
item
maybe
in.
I'll put this item with it.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I don't know. Or maybe it's just an item that isn't sold very often and you don't want to put it as low as people are wanting to buy it for.
Sometimes I'd be having items like from Clue Scrolls that say they're worth like 5,000, and I go and look, and they're like last sold at 800, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? So like stuff like that you
I
could insert.
I think in general it wouldn't be super useful
Hmm.
or like any or cool or anything like that. I just think it'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting, but I don't think it would be used too much.
I think it'd be used for like some weird things.
True, I'm very bad at thinking about niche things. To be
Yeah,
fair,
I think some weird people would use it, but
some
not
weird people.
not for any conventional uses.
Yeah. We have one final question from Wraith over on Discord as well. So, players have suggested the ability to bind items to their account as a security feature. For example, you could bind a twisted bow to your account by converting it to an untradeable version that is free to reclaim if dropped or lost. What would be the pros and cons of this system? Wraith thinks that the pros would include safeguarding against getting hacked or scammed, not worrying about item values, locking items as a unique achievement or status symbol. The cons would include sacrificing flexibility to buy, sell, and lend items. Items generally become more expensive, and there'd be inconsistency across the game in how and where the bound items are allowed to be used. Or
Uh,
allowed.
yeah. I really like this idea.
I know you do. I read it to him earlier, and he's like, oh, I like this.
Yeah, I like this not just from a main standpoint, but from a hard or from a GIM or an IM
Hmm.
standpoint. Just because then, I mean, obviously the chance of you getting hacked is not as big of a deal. But one, you could lose your status, you could lose your items. People could just drop them because they hate you. But if you save as an Iron Man, you're not going to drop anything unless you want to drop trade your main or something like that.
Hmm.
So you're going to just, all of the items that you have that are unique, you're just going to save them to your account. So you'd never have to worry about getting hacked, really.
I'm assuming, like, I mean, would you be able to save everything though? Because then wouldn't it make death like more pointless?
Well, I mean, death is pretty pointless.
Yeah, but like even more so, or like would you have to pay every time? I guess like death, but you get it back.
No, for like, are you talking about getting like PK'd
I
or?
just meant in general, but also PK'd. Maybe I'm not understanding the idea enough.
No, they're just saying like you couldn't just like drop the item.
Oh, okay. Oh, so like if you still get PK'd, then you lose it.
Yeah,
Normal.
if dropped or lost, I don't know how you would lose it, but I'm just assuming like if you get PK'd same as normal, you lose your items. Or
Oh,
if you die twice, I think you still just lose your items.
okay, that's cool then. Because I was
But
like, if you have like a forever T-bow that you could bind to your account, that
no,
would
I
make
was
sense.
imagining like your Tebow, if you accidentally drop it or if you accidentally sell it,
Yeah, or
you
if you
could
get
just get you could
hacked.
just get it back.
Yeah. Okay, no, I do like that then.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they'd ever actually add something like that.
Yeah,
Because
maybe
somehow people would find a way to take
maybe
advantage.
it could only be like once a month it's reclaimable or something so you couldn't do like some weird thing with
Yeah,
it.
people always find a way to exploit everything.
Yeah. So like you can't trade it obviously, you can't do anything with it besides use it.
Yeah, it would be nice though. Like people who get hacked wouldn't have totally lost everything.
Yeah. Obviously there are some cons like they said. I mean, this would lock it to your account forever. I wouldn't want this to be undoable
Hmm.
because that would be kind of
That defeats the
defeat the
purpose.
purpose.
But then, like, if you have a really close friend and they're like, "How about your TiVo?" You're like, "You literally cannot.
Yeah.
It's actually
So
not allowed."
overall, I think it'd be cool and maybe better for the game. I don't really
Hmm.
see any negatives that are big for me, but and I think this would also help the markets if anything because if, however many people, 10% of the people are like I don't want to ever lose this item,
Yeah,
then they would lock it, then immediately those 10% are out of the market, making the item more expensive.
true. That
So,
make stuff like mega rares more expensive, like
It would
too
make
expensive.
Yeah, it'd make everything that's unique more
Yeah.
expensive and more unique, which is bad to some people for sure.
Hmm.
But I think
Definitely more of
overall,
a buyer than a seller. So to me, I'm like, oh.
yeah, overall it might be good for the game still, but it would definitely be like weird.
Yeah, it would be a nice account security because you got hacked, and I'm sure that you would have liked it if you could have had something to come back
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
I
exactly.
haven't been hacked, so maybe that's why I'm like more meh about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a niche situation, but there's people that get their accounts compromised and then people just drop all of their items, destroy all their uniques. It's like,
There was someone, I don't remember who it was. It was someone in like Xanaris, this like girl only streamer Discord I'm in, that they had a mod that they used to like sometimes like let play on their account, and their mod got mad at them for some reason and like destroyed all of their untradables and everything. It was weird.
yeah.
Very angry for some reason.
Oh well.
So don't do that to people.
But yeah, so that's it. Let us know what
Mhm.
you think.
Yeah.
And yeah, tell us what you would feel about the scythe being buffed.
I just want to know, what do you guys think about the scythe? What should change? Like that's literally
Or should
going,
nothing change?
or should nothing change? Like Ninja responded to Fem's question saying #rich people problems.
True. Ninja doesn't play the game just like me, so
Ninja plays sometimes. We got him to raid the other day.
yeah. Anyways, though, let us know what you think. You can find us on all of our socials. Feel free to answer a question anywhere and ask us questions anywhere if you want to be featured in the podcast. Let us
Yeah.
know as well. And you can find us where?
I was about to cut you off to do it. Our Twitter and TikTok are both BoonBabe OSRS. Our Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are all just BoonBabe. So catch me 5 days a week at twitch.tv/BoonBabe and come read with me and let me know what you think about the scythe.
Yep. So thanks again for listening. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all.
Very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.